I'm Orpha Bellwood. I'm a lecturer here in the College of Science and Engineering, particularly in marine biology. Science, yes. You know what? It's an interesting question why I became interested in science. It gives you the opportunity to ask questions, and I just love looking at how things work and figuring out what they do. And see, that's the great excuse. When you want to ask questions, want to see how things work in the world, particularly in nature, science is the best way to go about it. I do my research on crustaceans. I love crustaceans, okay? Everything that has spiky legs and crunchy carapaces, those are the crustaceans. I love working on them. Now, I also teach marine biology, and I teach about marine organisms and how they work and how they function given the challenges of living in such a watery environment. And that's where my passion is. I just love working on marine animals. They're everywhere in the ocean, on beaches, in the intertidal areas, on mud flats. My focus actually is on crustaceans and those that live on coral reefs, mainly because not many people actually realize that there's heaps and heaps of crustaceans that live on coral reefs. When you talk about coral reefs, everyone talks about fish and corals. Yet they're actually the most specious group on coral reefs. You know that it's about 35,000 species of crustaceans on reefs. Now, you have crabs and shrimps and copepods and everything else on them. Compare that to about, I'd say 800 species of corals and about 5,000 species of fish. Crustaceans actually outnumber everyone out there. Mainly because they're all hidden. The word that they use is cryptic. Okay, they're all found in the rubble, in the little caves and crevices and nooks and crannies of coral reefs. That's where they are, and they're very, very important to the whole ecology of the system because, most importantly, they make great food. They're the Tim Tams of the reef. One of the things that I found out is that basically crabs have got an important part in controlling disease in corals, on reefs, mainly because of their food habits. They eat the diseased tissue, enabling the coral to kind of regenerate and all that, and stops the disease from spreading. The crabs are not fussy, you see. They'll eat mucus and everything else. When we think of crustaceans, we always think of the big things that we see on reefs, right? Like stomatopods, fiddler crabs, for example, or the snapping shrimps, the ones that click around when you walk over a reef flat. But those are the big ones. But as I mentioned earlier, there's also lots of little ones that actually live in the crevices, and at night they actually move out onto the water column and join what is known as a plankton. Plankton basically are all those organisms that are found in the water column. They're microscopic, they're very, very small, but they're there. They live there all their lives, and they get joined at night by those microcrustaceans that come up out of the reefs. They're called emergent plankton, and the most important thing about them is that those microcrustaceans, which are what we know are called copepods, basically form the first level of consumers that get eaten by other animals in the food chain. And so little fish larvae feed on those little copepods, and then those fish larvae get eaten by bigger fish, and then those other bigger fish get eaten, and so it just goes on and on. But they form the basis of the food chain. Those copepods actually eat algae, okay, the microscopic planktonic algae. So they are the connection between what we call producers versus the higher consumers in a food chain. And Yeah, so fascinating. They're so important because without those copepods, basically, that food chain gets broken because they form that all important link.